Have you ever thought that the Ashlanders and their camps are just perhaps a bit generic in terms of their design? They all just kind of look the same and are almost, copy and pasted. The only real way to tell them apart is, their location, and that's about it. Despite the fact that in dialogue, they are supposed to be fairly different in terms of specialties, skills, and even a little bit in terms of their culture. The Zanabi, which is probably not the correct pronunciation, are supposed to be merchants. The Arabian Insum, again, almost certainly not the correct pronunciation, are supposed to be warriors, and the Urshalaku are supposed to be really spiritual and religious, but you can't really tell that, cosmetically speaking. Each of the camps look the same regardless, with maybe just a different set of banners. But that's where today's Mod of the Day comes in, because today we're taking a look at the Ashlanders by Random Pal and Vegetto, otherwise known as Duo Dinamico. And basically, what this mod does is it overhauls each of the Ashlander camps to just make them feel a bit more unique and different from one another. So the Zanabi will have merchants just sitting outside, surrounded by the wares that they can, barter with. The Urshalaku have a shrine, and each of the Ashlander camps has a lot of just new immersive and atmospheric additions, like you might find a bunch of Ashlanders sitting around a campfire. And there's also just a ton of new clutter and even a few new cultural items, things that you might expect Ashlanders to use. You'll even find, guars and other domesticated creatures that the Ashlanders just kind of depend on. And this mod also expands each of the Ashlander camps to just include a few new yurts and tents. Mostly, residences and things of that nature, but the Arabian Insum, which again, that's probably not the right pronunciation. Please don't crucify me. They have a new training tent, as part of their warrior culture, where you can see Ashlanders just, training in combat. And this is just a really cool and, atmospheric little mod that adds a ton of just immersive details here. Like, again, this training tent, or the overhauls that this makes to the yurts, the Ashkons, and the Wise Women, who are sort of the leaders of each tribe, so, this just adds a ton of cluttering and detailing to their tent to make them feel a bit more unique and to stand out a bit. Especially the tents, the Wise Women, which now have just a ton of unique cultural items, as you can see here. But anyway, that's pretty much all this mod does, so that's our Mod of the Day. As always, I've been your host, Dark Elf Guy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.